That's more like it. That is what I'm talking about. That is a good get-right game for your Miami Heat to start off this road trip. You hand the Portland Trail Blazers their first loss of the season. You improve to 2-3. Miami wins 119-98. An absolute drub job out there in the Pacific Northwest. Listen, it's Spo's hometown, all right? A win streak goes there now. You go to his steakhouse. You have a warm welcome. You don't lose in Spo's stomping ground, all right? That's the facts. I know, like, it's, people think it's Damian Lillard's town. Understood. He's done a lot of great things there. But really, new sheriff in town whenever Spo decides. Going to just peruse here a little bit. And the Miami Heat got it done in a big way today. And it was looking a little bit shaky there. I think everybody was in the same mindset that we were watching. A lot of the same story, same song and dance there in the first quarter. Was looking a little bit clunky. But this game really swung in the second quarter in a very, very interesting way because Miami, as rough as it was looking in the first quarter, they did end it only down 31-28. And they got two great performances in that first half from Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. The two guys, the undrafted duo, both guys in contract years, still looking to make a statement, still have a ton on the line this season and all of this regular season because it means whatever the hell it's going to mean for their future. They came out there and they played with their hand on fire. Max Strus, big bounce back game offensively for him. Really got the Heat going in motion and really was converting. Finally, the Heat, one of the big things that really, helps with a drought when you're not scoring any points offensively is you start hitting some bombs from downtown, and they got that today. Multiple three-pointers from Max Strus. He was 4-7 from downtown. Tyler Hero was 3 of 8. And the prettiest number that we'll see tonight was Kyle Lowry. 5 of 7 from downtown, 17 points from the Heat point guard with 6 assists. But this game oddly swung when Bam Adebayo goes to the bench and he fouls. He gets his third foul of the game on an all. He gets back-to-back offensive fouls, basically, And Spo, instead of going to Dwayne Dedmon, sweet, he brings in Jović, and I gotta tell you, I was craving Jović tonight. You guys know I said this in the last video, but I was like, look, I just think you need a little shakeup, something, just a little spice, a little something, just to give it a little different vibe to the team. And I just don't feel like they're getting that with Dwayne Dedmon. I just don't see what he's bringing to the table right now. And so when he goes to Jović there in the second quarter, I was very excited. And look, he didn't know what the hell he was doing out there. He got 4 fouls in like 5 minutes. I didn't care. I love seeing him out there. He got like one little putback tip in. He got a steal later in the game. But it didn't matter. Just flowed better, He's running around. He's trying to close out on shooters. It was adorable. And in the meanwhile, while he was out there, he were making themselves a little runski. They were taking the lead. They were taking over the game, really. And quite frankly, Max Strus and Jimmy Butler with monster second quarters. Jimmy Butler decided, you know what? I'm just going to start bullying everybody inside. I'm going to start getting to my beauty spots. And that's what he did. And it really, that second quarter where they outscored him 33-25, game was really swung from there because they come out of there in the second half. And it was bombs away right away. On top of, Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons come out right out of the gate, and they're shooting. Kyle Lowry, though, he was answering them blow for blow. And even one 3-point attempt from one Bam Adebayo on the trailer. He was there at the top of the key, shot it, goes in and out. But you know what? I like seeing it, dude. And one thing, Kyle, I mean, this is the real theme of the game after they started taking control. They were mauling and manhandling the Portland Trailblazers when it comes to thievery. Forget about the Heat resort to thuggery. All right, shout out to Steve Holman, Hawks announcer from the, of course, playoff series from years ago. The Heat resorted to thievery. They were out there. They were pickpocketing the Blazers all over the place. Kyle Lowry, beautiful steal, got to Bam on the fast break. Bam, he got on the break, got to Caleb for a slam. The play, though, I would say, of the game that really just put the dagger in it in a lot of different ways. Caleb Martin got right into Damian Lillard's grill and Dame then got doubled up by Jimmy Butler. He throws the ball in a tizzy, gets into Kyle Lowry. He throws it down to Jimmy Butler for the slam. They go up 79-70, and the Blazers call timeout. Right out of the timeout, Jimmy Butler gets another pick six to go up 11. That was like all she wrote. And we also learned later on afterwards that play where Jimmy and Caleb doubled him up, that he got his foot tied up, calf strain. Damian Lillard did not come back in the game after that. But they really just started harassing the Blazers from, just all over them. And it was just beautiful to see their defense turning into offense, to easy buckets, all the things that the Miami Heat identify themselves with and help with when things can look clunky and the offense doesn't look great. What helps with that? Shooting, getting turnovers into easy buckets. And they got a lot of that today. It was absolutely huge. Tyler Hero, he helped pad the lead a little bit more with some back-to-back threes. Jović ended up getting a steal that turned into a Lowry three. Lowry was killing it from downtown tonight. The only other thing to really bring up from this game that was crazy, because, they're right back at it tomorrow. Caleb Martin, shocking, got a steal. He had 4 of them tonight. He gets the steal. It was like SportsCenter top 10 stuff, like a wide range wingspan steal. Takes the ball, full head of steam, big time jam, and I think it was on Simons, and just yells. We learned Caleb Martin's a yeller. He gets intense. He gets into it. And they called a technical foul on him. And it didn't look like he yelled any obscenity. I don't think he yelled anything malicious at the Blazers, but they apparently took great offense to it. And this NBA has been very, everybody knows that Jason Tatum was even tweeting about this day, because I don't know if you guys saw around the league, Steve Nash had this crazy-eyed ejection that he got. They're calling texts willy-nilly all over the place. This real respect the game clause that's going on. They're trying to turn it into baseball, and I don't know why they're doing it. But Caleb Martin has a bona fide top play of the night and is excited about it. Obviously, he had to sit out the last game, which really sucked for him. And by the way, you saw him tonight at his best and what he can do for this Heat team. For those who doubted it, he brought it all tonight. He was really, really awesome. But I don't understand what they're doing there. That was really, really crazy to me. But yeah, Chauncey Billups pretty much threw up the white flag. I guess once they got the news that Dame was out, they threw up the white flag with a 7.5 left in the fourth quarter. He emptied his bench. And really the only thing out of the fourth quarter that was worthy was Bam kind of had a get-right quarter, because he had a frustrating game with the foul trouble. Settled it in the third quarter, and that wasn't an issue the rest of the game, but it was a really, really frustrating first half for him, which led to Jović playing, which so glad we're going in this direction rather than playing Dwayne Dedmon. I think this is fantastic. I think it's going to do wonders for because I was jealous starting this game of the Trailblazers, because they're out there and they got their 19-year-old rookie, Shaedon Sharpe, who a lot of people have been impressed with. A lot of the basketball nerds have been, and I hadn't watched him play it yet, but I can see it. I mean, the guy seems to have a little bit, I think, super athletic. He can shoot. Number 7 pick this year. And I'm like, man, I would like for the Miami Heat to kind of sprinkle in their 19-year-old rookie. That would be cool. And they did. Who would have thought? Minutes later, boom, Jović. And no, statistically, he did not have the game Shaedon Sharpe did, but I'm telling you, those minutes, just being able to kind of weather the storm with Bam out, just having some size, let him roam around out there, he's going to get his bearings about that. I promise. He had a similar thing to this in the first preseason game that he played. I think this is going to, I'm so happy that Eric Spoelstra broke glass on this, and feet are wet. Now it's time. Put him in the shallow end, and then eventually let him swim by the end of the year. But I thought it was a huge thing for Eric Spoelstra to go that direction. He was feeling froggy. He's got a new pullover. They looked like they were on a team from Dodgeball, an underdog story. It was a beautiful thing. Chris Quinn had the most lovely smile at the end of the game. It was just really a delight. So the Heat, they win 119-98. We even got a Udonis Haslem sighting tonight. He got to add to his all-time leading rebounding record. That was fantastic. Kyle Lowry, this is pretty crazy. I didn't know this. Kyle Lowry shot up to 13th all-time in three-point makes tonight. I think he passed Dirk Nowitzki, which is pretty crazy. I didn't realize Kyle Lowry was shooting up the 3-point ranks that much, but he is, look at that, top 15 all time for Kyle Lowry. Now that obviously will be, because of the game today, that'll one day be obliterated and he'll probably end up like 30th, but still 17 years in the league and you get yourself to inside the top 15. And that's very, very impressive from Kyle Lowry. And I think tonight's game, hopefully will get some Heat fans off his back because he looked really aggressive tonight. He looked sure of his shot. That looked great. Jimmy Butler honestly was like the star of this was like a typical why he's your star, your Jim VP game from Jimmy with the 17 points. The 2 steals were game changers. He was bullying dudes inside. Didn't get to see Justice Winslow tonight. And I got to say, what was the line? Eric Reed had just a beautiful line because Eric Reed, I love him to death, but he can be ruthless. We've heard what he done to Blake Griffin, but he said of Justice Winslow, I believe he said, what was the line? I sent it to the crew. It was like his offensive game is a career in is a career in development. I'm just like, jeez, true, because he had like a classic fiddler crab like right there where it's just like botched it. But good for Justice. It's good to see him back, and it was weird. It is weird seeing him in other uniforms still. But he was fine tonight. And I will say, it's weird because a lot of the national pundits said that this Blazers team is going to not be very good this year. And I look at that roster and I really don't see I'm not saying they're contenders, but you look at the roster up and down and you're like, I don't see any reason why they can't be decent. They haven't gotten Gary Payton back yet, but you think about what they've gotten from Sharp, having a guy like Justice Winslow off the bench is an ultimate Swiss Army knife. Their starting lineup's completely, Damian Lillard, Josh Hart, Anthony Simons, Nurkic, and Grant is about as seamless a fit together as there is. So while it is surprising they started the season undefeated, I was surprised because everybody was like seemed very down on them this year. And you kind of just like look at all the players they got and you're like, they're pretty good. They're not bums. So big win though. The biggest thing for the Heat in this one, no Jimmy, no Kyle really in the fourth quarter. And you got the Warriors coming up on what is basically tonight. So we'll look forward to that one. And maybe the Heat can get a couple here right against the champs in this West Coast trip. Could be something special to get this season pointed in the right direction.